Welcome back to ChalkTalk, where we take business, finance, education, and entertainment and wrap them all together for you, our viewer.
To help you better understand the world of finance and business.
Welcome back to another episode. I chose to talk about something a little bit less doom and gloom in the news.
Yeah, I need that uplift.
Yeah,
Something feel good.
Our last few episodes have been a lot of doom and gloom, but important information, you know? So I decided to talk about something a little bit easier to listen to and to talk about. It's kind of stressful to read about all that, like doom and gloom news and the world's ending and America's crumbling. And so I'm going to talk about the 2023, the great AI wars of 2023.
Great AI wars of 2023. Bow, bow, bow.
Cue AI robot clip video war.
Is there a problem?
Anyway, so to talk more about the Google AI wars is Google. So this past Wednesday in Mountain View, California, Google and Sundar Pichai, which is the CEO of Google. I love Sundar Pichai. You ever listen to him talk?
No, I haven't.
No?
But I'll look into it.
He's super intelligent. Yeah, he became the CEO of Google in 2015 when Alphabet Group, a holdings company, took charge of Google. Well, I shouldn't say took charge, but yeah, well, a holdings company. They
I
are the
didn't
parent
know.
company.
I didn't know they were a holdings company. You said 2015?
Yeah, in 2015, and that's when Sundar Pichai, the current CEO, Chief Executive Officer, took charge of Google. And yeah, Alphabet Group is the holdings company.
Oh, I thought that was just Google. Learn something new every
Yeah,
day.
Google's like it's the actual company and the search engine and all the products they have, like Google Pixel, and which we're going to get into a little bit more of. But yeah, a little backstory of the Sundar, and he's from India. He came to the States, I believe, after his bachelor's degree. And when he was in his early 20s, he moved here to the United States, and then he started working for Google in the early 2000s, and for about 10 or 11 years, and that's when after about a decade, he became the CEO. But yeah, like I said, this past Wednesday in Mountain View, California, they had their I.O., which, if you didn't know what the I.O. is, Google I.O. is, it's a conference for developers. But it's also very important for investors and consumers alike because, well, that's why they're in business. Because of the customers and, well, of course, the investors, right? That's why they're a publicly traded company. So there's a lot of eyes on them. There's a lot of attention on them. They're Google. Google is quite literally a verb.
It is, actually. It is. It's a noun and a verb.
Like, hey, Google it. Like, no one says, hey, search, or can you Bing it? Can you ask Jeeves it?
Ask Jeeves.
Like, no.
Oh, what a throwback.
So there's a lot of eyes. I mean, Google is one of the largest companies in the world. They're in the trillions, I'm sure, as you know, which is one of, I think, only 3 or 4 companies in the world that's evaluated into the trillions of dollars. But so this was a super important, extra important, because back in February, Google was introducing Bard, which is their answer to Microsoft's backed ChatGPT.
Okay.
So yeah, back in February, they had a lot of negative attention because they had an event and they had an AI ad where they asked Bard a question and it responded with incorrect information.
Okay.
Yeah, so this event was extra important for Google so they could kind of like redeem themselves, I'd say, especially with investors and consumers, because like who wants to try a product when they can use ChatGPT and all these other AIs that these other companies like Nvidia and Apple and who else is doing Meta, Amazon, everyone has their own AI nowadays, all the big tech companies, you know? So who's going to want to use, I mean, yeah, Google is Google, but who's going to want to use an inferior product? I don't care if you're Apple or Google or Microsoft. whoever, why would you choose the inferior one when I can go on ChatGPT? So one of the big key points actually financially with Google is on that day and following that day in the market, they had a $100 billion sell-off in their market cap.
Just from that?
Just from that one event.
Seems a little excessive.
Yeah, Google had a lot of there was a lot of people being criticized, like, yo, you're this huge tech company, you're supposed to be the leader of the pack along with along with Apple and Microsoft, of course. And they call themselves an AI first company. Actually, with something with Sundar actually was mentioned a few times during the I.O. He kept emphasizing that Google is an AI first company. And he wanted to really promote the fact that they need to be responsible with AI.
AI first?
Yeah.
I wonder how long that's...
I mean, they're a search engine company, of course, and now they're also overall tech because...
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Even though they have expanded into different areas, they have technically started out as an information
Information-based.
Yeah, information-based.
Search engine, yeah.
It's the coffee.
So, yeah, they lost $100 billion in their market capitalization, their market cap. And if you don't know that, we're going to put the definition, market cap, on the screen for you right now. So they lost 7.4%. And if you see here on the chart, back in February... Here on Google, which is that up on the screen right now, back in February, you see Google here had this sell-off at the beginning of February that was trading about $108 to $113. If you notice there, back in that first week of February, on the 10th, I believe, right there, if you see that drop,
that's
down to $95. It had a
hefty drop.
Yeah, and it had a continuation of a sell-off for that following month, all the way down to... I believe it was just under 89 a share. It doesn't show it on that chart, but it went all the way down to $89. A share was the low from a trading range of just over...
For Google?
Yeah. And that's a lot of money. I mean, Google is evaluated into the billions of dollars.
Made some money.
I mean, into the trillions. So $100 billion is a lot of money, even if you're Google evaluated into over $1 trillion. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to see something I saw kind of interesting. So the whole AI wars, right? ChatGPT versus Google's Bard.
Okay.
I wanted to take a look at the same time, and we're going to put the chart on the screen right now for you. We have Microsoft at the same time back in February on that same similar time frame.
Oh, I see those gains.
So, yeah, there you go. You see, you have a Google sell-off, sold off about 7.5% right off the bat, lost $100 billion in market cap. You have their direct competitor here, Microsoft ChatGPT. What happened? We had a big pop from that 255 to a 276 range within just a couple of trading days. But so this was extra important, I'd say, moving forward for Google. I mean, it's a big event in general. It's an I/O. It's for developers. A lot of tech people watch it. People who are in the tech industry. A lot of investors, like I said, consumers too, because they're introducing all of your technology. And once again, of course, that's why companies are there. They're there for their customers. So this was really important. So let's watch a little bit of what Sundar had to say at the opening of Google's I/O in California.
As you may have heard, AI is having a very busy year. So we've got lots to talk about. Let's get started. Called Magic Editor. Let's have a look. This is a great photo, but as a parent, you always want your kid at the center of it all. And it looks like the balloons got cut off in this one. So you can go ahead and reposition the birthday boy. Magic Editor automatically recreates parts of the bench and balloons that were not captured in the original shot. As a finishing touch, you can punch up the sky. It changes the lighting in the rest of the photo so the edit feels consistent. It's truly magical. Imagine if you could see your whole trip in advance. With immersive view for routes, now you can.
Okay.
So welcome back from the clip.
A lot of cool stuff happening there.
Yeah, what did you find? Did you find anything interesting?
Well, I can say that I've had some personal experience with the maps. They were talking about the directions with the maps. I went out with my sisters, and we were lost somewhere, and they had to scan with Google the area, and then it gave like, it showed us exactly with like big blue arrows like in 3D.
Google Immersive, I think.
I think so, yeah, where to go. So it's like we're walking, and it's like, okay, it's a huge, big, a big like VR looking, or augmented reality, more like, oh no, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know the tech terms, but it helped us get to where we need to go.
Yeah, it was like Google Immersive Street View map.
Yeah, it was that was pretty cool. And then the point about joining teams with Apple, that was with the tagging.
Yes, to build an industry standard device locator.
Yeah, so
with Apple. Yeah.
So even if you have a Google phone, you can still track like your AirTags, your Apple AirTags, if someone's following you, or like get notifications if someone is tagged as following your tag. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the Google Immersive Street View, and the fact that Google is working with Apple for the industry standard to find device finders like your phone and stuff, or your tablets.
There's a lot of stuff going on, but those were the biggest that stood out to me.
With more than 3 billion Android devices, we've now seen the benefits of using AI to improve experiences at scale. We're launching a major update to our Find My Device experience to support a wide range of devices in your life, including headphones, tablets, and more. We're introducing unknown tracker alerts. Your phone will tell you if an unrecognized tracking tag is moving with you and help you locate it. Last week, we published a new industry standard with Apple, outlining how unknown tracker alerts will work across all smartphones.
Kind of like the one where the wallpaper.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, how he chose a wallpaper and then like a specific art. I forget which one it was that he.
Oh, it was like a cityscape.
Yeah, a cityscape, but with the type of art that he said it was a.
I can't. Postmodern or something.
Postmodern. Yeah, it was a cityscape. Yeah, that was pretty cool. You can make like your own custom, super custom wallpapers on your phone and tablets and stuff with AI. I mean, it's not that like groundbreaking, but it's pretty.
This year, we're combining Android's guided customization with Google's advances in generative AI, so your phone can feel even more personal. With our new generative AI wallpapers, you choose what inspires you, and then we create a beautiful wallpaper to fit your vision. So let's take a look. So for example, I can pick, what am I gonna do? City by the Bay in a post-impressionist style. Cool. And I tap create wallpaper. Nice. Now, behind the scenes, we're using Google's text-to-image diffusion models to generate completely new and original wallpapers.
It made me think of how if they make image generation easy on these platforms, are they gonna like deplatform these other websites and companies that are making money from AI art or
like
AI
Etsy?
imagery? No, I mean like Mid-Journey and like DALL-E 2 generator, because you have to pay money to generate stuff. I don't know if it's Mid-Journey, but stuff like that, like they make you pay, but you'll just be able to do it for free on Google.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see where AI goes.
Yeah, and they're also going to be incorporating one of the things that they announced, the AI in their actual search bar.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you can break down a search down into columns, down to break things down even more to get like even more niche. So say for example, you're looking for like a bicycle, but you're looking for like a bicycle that's like a mountain bike, but this specific brand and this specific area and this specific price, and it'll give you like the actual locations and everything broken down like super. It's crazy, like how more specific the searches will be.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me feels like it's a little intrusive, but part of me is like, this is, I can't even picture where this is gonna go. Like technology.
But yeah, But yeah, that were just some of the announcements they had. But one of the ones I was more interested in is the actual like AI, their Bard is called. It's a direct competitor, like I mentioned earlier, to ChatGPT. Microsoft backs ChatGPT versus Google's Bard, and they had a lot of announcements there. And I believe her name is Sissy Chow, which is the vice president of Google. She had a lot of. She was the one doing all the announcements of Bard, and talking about Bard and all of the. They had a lot of interesting stuff, and I was like, "Whoa, watch out, ChatGPT."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, one of the first things as well, it's actually super easy to access. You just go to bard.com. bard.google.com to use it. Pretty simple. Just a website, bard.google.com. We'll put that on the screen for you. But yeah, some of the things is the key points that I like. Some of the announcements that were big with Bard was there is no more waiting list, and it's free to use. They had a waiting list that they announced back in February, but now within their past Google I/O is that they said there is no more waiting list. It's available. It's free. It's up and it's ready to use. It's now available in 180 countries, but sorry if you're in the EU. To our friends in the EU and our Brazilian friends,
Oh, really?
you are unable to use it if you live in the EU at this current moment, and Brazil. I don't know about any other South American countries or Latin American countries, but Brazil, you're unable to use it. In the EU, you're unfortunately able to use it. But in the meantime, you have the option of paying for a VPN.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
So
true.
then you can try out Bard until Google makes it available in your home country. If you do live in the EU or you live in Brazil and you're happening to be viewing this, get a VPN if you already don't have one. Would be my suggestion, is if you want to use Bard. But yeah, it's available in 180 countries. It's kind of strange. There are 205 sovereign states in the world. They decided to not include the Brazil and the EU. But anywho,
Well, maybe they have like regulations.
yeah, maybe they have to
That-
figure it out.
Yeah.
In the
that they
meantime,
can get through.
yeah. Another one of their big announcements with Bard is it was only available in English. It is now available in Korean and Japanese.
Oh yeah, I remember she said that.
Yep. And it will be available soon. They didn't give a time frame. It will be available soon in up to 40 different languages. And the Vice President, Sissy Chow, also mentioned one of the biggest problems with creating language in generative AI is the local nuances. Especially, so that's one of the things that kind of like slow them down a little bit, or like the local little dialects, nuances, things that people say, words that people don't use in formal Korean, formal English, formal Japanese.
Well, I'm sure as more people use the AI, the
It's
model
gonna
will
grow its
collect that.
vocabulary.
Right. That point in the video made me think of. I'm excited to find out if they make those earbuds that can translate
Yeah.
language directly, so I could be talking or speaking with somebody in one language, they can speak in another language, and my AI earbud could hear what they're saying and spit to me in my language.
Translation.
And just translate it.
Yeah, translations does the work. Yeah, that'd
And
be
once
great.
once they get nuance down, we're
Yeah.
unstoppable.
Yeah. Go anywhere. Speak to anyone. It'd be amazing. Could speak to all other 8 billion people.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And then the fourth thing that they announced that about Google's Bard, their AI, is that it is now available and knows 20 different coding languages. So it's like an assistant for people who do coding. Can organize things, help you code, be an assistant code. It includes up to languages C++, Go, JavaScript, Python, Kotlin, and Google Sheet functions.
I wonder if that's going to disrupt the coding industry.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are scared of AI in general, from video editors to graphic designers to coders now.
Yeah. I wonder how big the disruption's going to be, how heavy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe for very, very, very low tech jobs, maybe. But I think other than that, it's going to just end up being a tool. for most tech jobs. Who knows? I guess the future we'll see in the future. But yeah, some of the key differences between Microsoft's ChatGPT, pardon me, and Google's Bard is that, well, there's a microphone feature with Bard, so you can talk right into it, so it makes communication with you and Bard, a little bit more convenient, user friendly, easier to use. You don't have to type. I mean, you can type. You have the option, but you also have the microphone. Okay. So you can talk right into it, like if you did with like an Alexa or a Siri or.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking about that. Does that mean the Google Home? Is it called Google Home?
Yep.
Is going to be Bard now?
Yeah, probably eventually. I think Google's going to try to make. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they did mention Google like Home, like smart. So for example, like when you get like an Amazon delivery, you're going to see it. You're going to get the notifications. You're going to get like everything will all be like linked in the future, like Google's smart home. It's going to know everything that's delivered to your house, who's there, what times they got there. Yeah. Everything will be, well, again, who knows? But.
This circles back to, you ever seen that movie from Disney? Shout out to is it Smart House? I think it's Smart House.
Smart House, yeah.
And it was like an AI movie. Yeah, it was like an AI house, and it could eat stuff off the floor. Mm-hmm. We already knew this was coming. We already knew.
Yeah. And another difference between GPT and Bard is that, well, it seems like GPT's lacking. They got a lot of competition now because ChatGPT only has knowledge until 2021, while Google's Bard, well, it's Google, so they have access to the now. They have access to the internet. They have that advantage of Google being a search engine, and now with their generative AI, they have the access to current, up to date, up to these second info and knowledge, which, like I said, ChatGPT is only knowledge stems from and ends, well, not stems from, but ends in 2021.
Yeah.
So if we ask ChatGPT, like, hey, ChatGPT, could you make up an article about fishermen from 2022, it wouldn't be able to. Could you talk about the current economic crisis in the United States in 2023? It can't.
So because Google has already has like search access, the model just eats the information.
It's just a constant flow of information. As fast as it can get uploaded, it's as fast as it gets.
That's interesting, because if en masse people just started posting fake news and that became the Google search, the AI model would just eat that.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know how the algorithm works as far as Google with the search engine into feeding it into their AI. But yeah, I guess, I don't know, maybe it would have to maybe be like very quickly, like somehow maybe there would be like a kind of like how they do with cable television now. They kind of do like a 30-second pause, so there's no really true ever live TV.
Oh, okay.
Because if they don't want to see things like nudity or violence if things happen.
I'm sure maybe
there's some sort of like 2-minute filter, 3-minute filter while like it's processing if it's like a false or not.
Yeah, I know that ChatGPT has some sort of limitations on the type of content that it will allow you to request. So I'm sure Bard has some similar.
Sort of like filter pause on its filter to be like, okay, this is fake news.
Yeah,
or this is real news
that mentions these like, keywords.
This is legitimately happening or happened. Who knows? Well, I'm sure people, they know, but we don't, at least.
Sometimes.
But and then one of the final, I think final differences. They're both available for free. You can use both ChatGPT and both Google's Bard for free. But unlike ChatGPT, Google Bard does not have a subscription. ChatGPT now has a $20 a month premium subscription.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the times, like the height of use time. So like you're considered like prioritized if you pay a prescription.
Okay.
So if there's like a high amount of volume, like user volume on ChatGPT, then they prioritize their subscriber base rather than the people who are just on there like, hey, ChatGPT, write me a whatever, blah, blah, blah story about a unicorn and a donkey that became friends in, pre-Civil War United States and Russia.
Yeah.
Or some bizarre whatever people are putting in there. But anyway.
Yeah. Like server priority type deal.
Yeah. It prioritizes the subscription accounts. Is what I was getting to.
Yeah.
But yeah, and another key point that I got from Bard and the Google's I/O is, well, it's huge, and good luck to anybody else using AI, is Google was quietly building a very robust list of other companies in collaborations with. Yeah. Companies that will be collaborating with Google and Bard include Kayak, OpenTable, TripAdvisor, Spotify, and Adobe Firefly for design. So you're going to have that all available with Google's Bard.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. You have Spotify for music. You're designing things, which is also another generative AI, Adobe's Firefly. You're going to have Kayak for and TripAdvisor for travel. Oh, even Walmart is going to be working with Google's Bard. Even Walmart. So your shopping experiences are going to be with Walmart at least. Oh, and Target. They're really cornering the market. Like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon better step their game up, because it seems like people were unsure in about February with Google to now this I/O. It's like, whoa, they're taking over. In my opinion.
Well, here's a little wild card I'm going to throw in there. You say that, but what if out of the cut, it's something like Twitter emerges as a leader in AI? Because I think wasn't Elon's goal to make Twitter the go-to for everything?
For news.
Well, they wanted video. He wants to put videos and all that stuff on there. General. And so I could see them doing something with AI, or if not partnering with Google.
I think all tech companies are gonna definitely have AIs. And one other thing that Sundar mentioned, which I also mentioned earlier in the video, which stems off of it, is he mentioned responsibly working with AI, because it can be pretty powerful stuff. And he mentioned is that it's not on the back or shoulders of one company, but of all tech companies, and that they need to work together. Overall.
Says the company acquiring all the contracts.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're collaborating, because, I mean, it works out. Companies collaborate, work with each other. But yeah, I mean, they're working with Apple, and now they have all these other collaborations that we just mentioned involving other services, well, mainly service-based, like we said, Spotify, unless you include Walmart. So I don't know, but
I picture, I'm not trying to be negative, but and it's always interesting when you follow it up with a but. I definitely see a little bit of chaos with a little bit of the excess amount of access to information now that AI is going to bust the doors down to.
For example,
I'm just that's what I'm gonna say. We're gonna see.
I said what I said.
I know I'm not the only one thinking it. So,
but I don't know. Hey, but that's crazy. So like all the features that we saw in the beginning of the video, along with the ones that I've mentioned, Google's new Pixel. I'm an iPhone person. I'm not an Apple fanboy, but I use Apple products, so it's kind of hard to convert when you have multiple devices. But the Google Pixel with Bard in it, it's essentially a virtual assistant in your pocket.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and they're also going to be using it with all of their softwares, Google, with Bard, from Google Docs to Gmail to help me out here, Google Docs, Google What are the other
Anything
ones?
Google
Exactly. Well, I'm
presentations.
pulling here.
I don't know that. I think it's called presentations. I don't know. Any other stuff, probably spreadsheets, just the Google Suite.
Yeah, the Google.
In
yeah,
general.
the sheets, their spreadsheets, their docs, their everything,
And like
their
I
Gmails.
said, I still feel like
So-
it's a little intrusive.
It's gonna be well, it's gonna help you. Like for example, if you make a document about making a YouTube video, and you search, and then it's gonna start pulling things from the internet to help you to be like, here, I'll help you better organize and give you more information.
It's definitely going to be a rock star tool. I still think it's
Yeah. But yeah, and also in their I/O, like I was just about to talk about, is that they introduced a new line of Google Pixels, and they'll all have Bard in them. So that's why I was like, yeah, with Google's new Pixel phones, you essentially have a virtual AI, generative AI assistant in your pocket.
It's so crazy how now we have supercomputers just casually in our pockets. Mm-hmm. Just casually.
Yeah, we have had them, but now we have supercomputers with AI built in.
It's like boosters.
Yeah, imagine bringing those back to like your grandparents.
We have military grade computers in our pockets.
Yeah, World War II. You could have ended World War II with an iPhone. You would have been like, we have nukes. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max Plus.
Our Google Pixel 27 Plus.
The access powers would have been like, we don't know what that is, but it's scary.
Witchcraft.
What is that
Wrong era.
purple board thing in your hand? You just start taking pictures and flash, and they're like, ah! No. But yeah, just a couple other things to talk about from their I/O. Is another interesting thing that I saw was their Palm 2. It's a new language model. Well, it's not so new, but one of the other things is that they had their Palm 2 Palm 2 Med, which is like their medical AI.
Okay.
So it analyzes a lot of things that like doctors are doing, from charts to tests to prescriptions, and it's just basically checking. So it's like a doctor's assistant, essentially. And I think it's a great thing. I mean, we're not going to depend on like you go see a doctor, but it's going to be like another tool to make sure, which led me to believe, in my opinion, it's going to help medical errors. I think if it's used in facilities and clinics and hospitals and doctors' offices. Because I actually found out this fact that apparently medical errors have caused 250,000 deaths a year in the United States. And medical errors are now the third leading cause of death in the United States.
Well, that's why they call it a medical practice.
Yeah. So I think one of Google's, not Google, their Palm 2, their Med, could be a tool you see in your doctor's office, definitely. So, and they, it's been in testing for a while, and now their Med Palm 2 can answer medical exam questions at an expert doctor level with an accuracy rate of 85%, which the average doctor, will put that chart up on the screen, only has a rate of 60%.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. So it's beating the average doctor by about 25% when it comes to exam questions.
Still medical practice.
Yeah. So that was also something interesting. And yeah, so after the I/O, and now I looked at the chart, and we'll put the chart on the screen here from May, the beginning of May, on the 5th, I believe. Let's see here. We have that chart on the screen now. And yeah, we had Google was trading for about $104, $105 a share, and had been kind of coming up from that downtrend that it saw in February. So now with Google's I/O and Bard and MedPalm releases, all the products that they had been talking about that we saw earlier and have been talking about, here we saw a giant run up in their share price from about $15, and it closed out the week at $117.80 with a high of $118.44.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
A little stairway to heaven.
yeah, a little bit of an uptrend in a crappy market. So yeah, their IO has definitely helped their stock price out a lot. Their chart, they're up 24% at the year. So also pretty good. It's beating the S&P 500 by about 100%, or more than 100% right now. So if you're invested in the S&P 500, you're beating it. If you're invested in Google since the beginning of the year. But I mean, they obviously had this IO planned. Obviously, it's something that you do within your company as a conference for your developers, especially if you're a tech company. But I think it was a big answer to Microsoft because Microsoft had their conference in March and they killed it. They announced that they're incorporating ChatGPT with some of their software, including Excel, Word, Outlook, PowerPoint with that. So, yeah, Microsoft had their conference back in March, and like I said, that they introduced ChatGPT that they're going to be incorporating with all their software and their user base. Things like I had mentioned, Excel, Word, Outlook, PowerPoint, etc. All the top Microsoft softwares. Google's answer to Docs, Sheets, etc. Like we spoke about. And we see, if we're going to pull up that chart now for you, another chart here on the screen, we're seeing here back in March, we have the uptrend that shows the announcements of them incorporating their ChatGPT. So we have a lot of influence here in the market here with these tech companies when they're mentioning whether it's negatively or positively with their AI, their generative AI services, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Google, it's both negatively and effectively affecting their stocks. And like I said, as of here on the screen, we have Microsoft's chart in March from their conference and their announcements. We had an uptrend of about from 245 range to about 313 range at the beginning of May. So
It's a pretty decent increase.
yeah, it's a pretty great increase. It was about an increase of about 55. We have about $68 a share. $68 a share uptrend for the past 2 months. Microsoft been in an uptrend. And for you to think about those in investing or already invested is one of the big key differences with Google and Microsoft is Google does not offer a dividend. Microsoft does.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more common for tech companies in the future to be offering dividends, following Apple, and Apple would be probably the second one. Microsoft already had their dividend, but yeah. So I posed the question in the AR war: who do you think wins, and who would you invest? Microsoft, Google, maybe another, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta. Who wins the AI war?
My
Or
take
will
is
there
on
be no winner?
ultimately no winner. Ultimately wild card. I think wild card. I pick wild card.
Wild card. All right. And if you had to choose one to invest in, at least out of the two we spoke about personally, because this is a financial entertainment.
Probably both. Honestly,
you'd both.
I would diversify. That's just my move.
Okay. If I had to choose one, I think I prefer Google as a company, but as a stock, I think I prefer Microsoft, just because of that dividend. And it's a solid blue chip stock. Even if a market does sell off, it's still not going to sell off a ton.
Yeah.
If you're holding it long, which you want to hold your blue chip stocks, blue chip stock definition on screen. You obviously want to hold blue chip stocks long, and long compound interest dividend definition on the screen. Accumulation through dividend.
Okay.
Either way.
Yeah. I think I feel the same way about both of them, just personally.
Yeah.
And I feel like since they're so big and such big competitors, they're not going to give up so easily. Something.
Oh no, they'll never give up. They've been around. Google and Microsoft have been around for
Yeah.
what now, 30 years.
I don't think either will really dethrone the other, per se, but.
But well, at least in the AI, generative AI part, not like one company is gonna completely destroy. No, I just mean it like in the sense of like, who do you think will probably have the better AI product?
Like I said, I think it's too soon.
Too soon to say.
I think they'll both develop things that might get out of control.
Yeah.
So, wild card, baby.
Yeah.
Probably Elon out of the cut.
Yeah.
Someone similar. Maybe a different countries.
Yeah. But yeah. Nvidia is also big. But yeah, we'll do an episode eventually about Nvidia. I like Nvidia. And it's a really popular stock
Interesting.
amongst investors. Are really popular. We can ask Nancy Pelosi. Right, Nancy? But anywho. Well, that's that. That's Google I/O. Description box below will have the short form and long form of the Google's conference, along with how to find Bard, where to use it, all that for you below. Thanks for watching. Another episode is in the books. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, and a great night. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.